Well, greetings again, everyone. It's me, Nick Michalak, and the stupendous Steve Frazier.
I thought you were going to say spooky.
No.
Because it's,
we're getting there.
Spooky time.
Getting there. But guys, we're giving you a commentary today for George A. Romero's and Stephen King's Creepshow. So, land on a couple different playlists for us.
Yeah, this is good times. I mean, kind of a Stephen King offshoot that we threw out there, and look at this. Here we go. So,
guys, if you have your own copy of Creepshow, turn on your subtitles, get your timestamp over to 0, and we'll sync up with a countdown. So, hope you all enjoy it. So, guys, in 3, 2, 1, play.
Normally, we just do, one movie, but now we're going to do, like, five little movies. This is, these kind of anthology things, I don't know where they started. Probably, like, way back,
I know there are a bunch of British ones in the 70s, but I don't know if anything predates that.
It's almost like an offshoot of like the old radio, kind of
drama stuff and everything.
Right.
Little serials they put out.
Right. Already great ambiance just from the opening shot, right? Like it feels like Halloween.
Yeah.
I love that
here he is.
Oh, Tommy Atkins. I love that the kid just called him out on his nudie books.
You know who the kid is?
I don't remember.
Stephen King's kid. That's Joe Hill.
Oh, that's Joe Hill. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Best-selling author Joe Hill.
Yes. And apparently I was reading when they had the father slap Joe, since King was actually on the set, they were kind of here or thereabouts, so Joe actually is the one who slaps himself.
Oh, okay.
So it's properly framed and kind of cut quickly, so you can't really pick it up. You just see the hands crossing the face. You want me Tom Atkins slapping King's son and fucking him up a little?
It's fine. It's fine.
You don't want to get method or anything.
It's fine. Tom Atkins is a delight.
Oh, yeah.
We've covered a few of his films now. We did The Fog. We did
the highlights, yeah.
Halloween. We did Night of the Creeps.
Halloween
3. We'll just put this one right in the playlist. That falls into the Tom Atkins playlist. I don't know if anybody's out there searching for a Tom Atkins playlist, but
we'll put one together so it's worthwhile.
He's got a little beer there? Is that what that is?
Well, it's interesting because, Adrienne Barbeau's later in the film in a different segment, and they're both in the fog together, but again, don't share any scenes.
Right, yeah. Which they didn't in The Fog either, right?
No, that's what I'm saying.
In both movies, they did not share
There was
scenes.
a trivia bit on IMDb that they've appeared. They've appeared.
What kind of kid gets excited about this? Like, he's happy.
Apparently, Barbeau and Atkins have both starred in like 4 different films together and shared 0 screen time.
That's a really ridiculous statistic.
There was something from 1990 called Two Evil Eyes. They also appeared in but had no screen time together.
Another really great idea for this is to do the comic book aspect. Was there another George Romero that he had to put that A in there?
I don't know.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
We're going to run through everybody in the whole movie. E.G. Marshall at the end. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Ed Harris.
There's so many.
We've covered a lot of Ed Harris in recent times.
Right. Yeah, I'm just kind of seeing if there's anybody else that, isn't a name, wasn't a name then, but is now.
Yeah.
Not really.
Paul Hirsch, editor on Star Wars and a number of Brian De Palma films. Oscar-winning film editor.
Oh. What did he win for, do you know?
Star Wars.
Star Wars? Okay. I didn't realize that Star Wars had won.
Yeah. And there was another editor there called, I think it was Pasquale Buba. He's one of the editors on Heat for Michael Mann.
Okay. All right.
Because Mann actually had, from what I heard, had a round-the-clock editing team of like 4 or 5 editors on the film to get it edited in time for the release date.
That sounds like something that would happen, with those kind of horror, low-budget, quick turnaround kind of things. But
a Corman, Bob Shea thing,
right?
Maybe.
This one's called Father's Day, and here we have, just by the clothes and the set decoration, we kind of know everything that we need to know about these ladies. Meanwhile, Joe Everyman there.
Ed Harris with the last remnants of his hair.
I was going to say, he very quickly became
bowing out by the end of the decade.
Very quickly became Ed No Harris.
And this is the youngest I've ever seen him.
So, Aunt Bedelia allegedly murdered her father. Is the lore here?
Yeah.
She's got working that heater. They're both working heaters. Everybody worked a heater back then, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, Stephen King is credited as the screenwriter for the whole thing.
Some of these were adapted from stuff he'd already written, and some things were original ideas for the film.
I think the only one that was based on a previous was the one that he's in.
I think that one, yeah.
I think that's the only one that was a previous.
Possibly, yeah.
I could be wrong about that. I haven't scoured the Wikipedia or anything. And even those kind of intercut shots that are very comic booky.
Yeah.
Within, right? Like, I don't know whose idea that was. I mean, I guess it had to have been Stephen King's because
a lot of this stuff is really kind of inspired by those old Tales from the Crypt, EC Comics stuff back in like the 70s, which had a lot of that same style. So they really want to incorporate that into this, and I kept trying to examine the film and figure out why it works so well here. But when you watch something like Ang Lee's Hulk movie, where he does all the comic book transitions, but it doesn't feel like it fits anywhere, I think it's just a matter of tone.
It could be. I mean, this one is designed to be short story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that particular context works better. Because there's also the narrative of the kid reading the comic book. Like, if the Hulk had a separate
wraparound,
right, where there was somebody reading the comic, maybe that would feel better.
Yeah.
But you kind of get the idea with these little insert shots and whatever that, like, we're seeing the story, but we're seeing it at the same time that Joe Hill is reading it.
Here's the thing. I mean, a lot of shots like this is just like standard coverage stuff, but at least at certain points in time, they're doing stylized visuals with the lighting and the camera angles and various other things. So it creates more, it accentuates that kind of tone to kind of push the extremes of the tone and more campy elements or stuff like that.
I'm also very curious. Like, I wish that I could be just in the room for conversations such as the sequencing, because I feel sequencing is such an important thing
in an anthology film,
right? Well, and on making a record, what order are we going to put the tracks in? And I'm so curious what the psychology was for what order these 5 stories were going to go in, and I don't know if there's any logic.
Because I imagine with the screenplay, they probably just had separate screenplays for each one, because you don't need to give 100-page screenplay to every actor.
Correct.
They're only on 25 pages.
Right.
So I think there was kind of a discussion here and there. I think some were kind of, like this one's probably kind of more cemented as like the one to ease them into the story, but I think a couple of them kind of jockeyed around as they were kind of figuring out the film, because I don't know. Because I was reading that there was a very interesting thing that Warner Brothers did. They actually released the film in I think it was Boston for like 4 weeks in the spring as like a test market type of thing.
Okay.
See how it's going to perform and the reactions, kind of elongated test screening type of thing. And so then that's in the spring, but the film doesn't get a full wide release until November. There's almost 5-6 months in between. So I don't know if they still did more post work afterwards and kind of did whatever, or if it was just them taking, hey, it was just the amount of time it took to kind of build up print ads and everything like that, and book the theaters and everything nationwide to figure it out.
Yeah, usually when they do test screenings, it's, one show here, one show here.
Yeah.
It isn't a run.
Yeah.
I actually went to a test screening once. I worked in the movie theater for 13 years, and we were every once in a while given, had access to some perks.
Yeah.
And one of my coworkers and I went to a test screening of the Bruce Willis war film Hearts War.
Okay.
And one in which they were trying to determine an ending. Okay. So multiple screenings saw multiple different versions of the film. And we actually had to fill out the little card at the end and give our thoughts. And honestly, I've watched the movie twice. Once when I test screened it, and once when it came out, just so I could see
which way they went.
And they went with not the one that I saw.
Okay.
And I don't remember the details.
Which one?
Right, like I don't remember the minutia of what mine was versus what it became, which is sad because, and it's not like it's a big famous movie.
No.
It's not like we, test screened a blockbuster.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I was part of that. So I wonder if, in the spring, maybe they asked for feedback on sequencing or whatever.
Yeah.
We're really kind of talking over some really interesting acting here.
Well, I knew I recognized her. She actually appears in The Exorcist 3.
Oh, okay. That's one of your faves.
Yeah.
Is it a big role, or is it...
She appears in like a scene and a half, basically, but it's towards the end of the film, so it's significant, but she's got like 2 or 3 lines, maybe. But enough to kind of like, oh yeah, I recognize her. There we go.
I don't know if that's the appropriate reaction.
I like the red lighting.
The red light is fun.
When it comes in and we're starting to enhance and get the heightened sequences, it really comes in and just makes it more stylized. I like it.
Well, right, because we went from a really normal looking film and a fairly normal story to supernatural film with supernatural stylization,
which feels like what they would do in the comic. They would kind of have kind of a standard color palette, then they would accentuate it and go more extreme.
Right. I don't know what this dance is.
Hopping around,
well,
white people dancing.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any more white than this.
I mean, there are some really great white dancers, but these two are not two of them.
And Ed Harris had just worked with Romero on his film Night Riders before this, so apparently because they did a documentary that's on your disc, I think. They did, I don't know, like a dozen years ago or something like that, and he showed up and talked about it. He just wanted to have some fun with Romero.
Now, had Romero obviously became famous because of the Living Dead items. Did he have any other hits? Other than
I mean, this was kind of his biggest. This was the first one that actually opened at number 1, the only one.
All right, well that's what I was saying. Like we had the Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead that are, I would call hits, but cult favorites.
I doubt
I didn't know if he done
probably after Dawn of the Dead. It probably was just Night Riders.
Okay, which
and then this film
I've never seen.
No, I'm just marginally aware of it.
And then this was like Hollywood, right?
Oh yeah, this is Warner Brothers. They give me They give me $8 million.
Oh,
probably more money than they ever seen before.
All right, let's get out the calculator, as we are wont to do on this little channel. It's an interesting part of the hero work because he's the outsider, right?
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, he's blue collar. Everyone else is uppity.
I don't know if, I guess he would just go for a walk, but like, why is he the one that's concerned about Aunt Bedelia?
Because the rest of them think she's a bitch.
Well, she is.
They're all a bunch of aristocratic dickheads.
Yes. All right, we said 8 million.
Yeah, huh?
In 8 million in 1982 equates to 26 million in today's dollars.
Which sounds, I could see him doing something just like this for that kind of money today. I mean, Blumhouse spends money $10 million on a movie, and they're usually at least production quality wise.
Yeah, I feel like Blumhouse could get away with making this for 8 in today's money.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, maybe 15 at the stretch.
Yeah, but 26 is like, I don't know. I'm an average, middle class American.
Yeah.
1 million sounds like
Astronomical.
right. I mean, it's unobtainable, right?
Yeah.
And to be given $1 million to make a movie.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know what I would. Well, how could I even spend $1 million making a movie, let alone 26 million? Like, I wonder how much of that 8 in the day went to salary for this cast of thousands.
Yeah. I mean, very few of them are like huge, like big end stars. So to us, in retrospect, there's a lot of people on the scene that really say, oh Christ, these are great people. They've done great work.
Right.
But they're not. They're not Jack Nicholson at the time or whatnot, going to demand a huge salary. So.
Right. Oh, there's
probably most of them
is.
at least a little on the higher end of things for a film like this, but probably not crazy money. A lot of its effects, a lot of its props, set construction.
So Tom Savini, who I don't know if he did anything in between Friday and this.
Well, he did The Burning. There was The Prowler. I don't know exactly where The Prowler lands.
Okay.
Those were the kinds of things he was swirling around with at the time.
Right. And so, Friday kind of made him a household name. And not a household name, but it gave him...
Yeah.
He was a household name in Hollywood, I guess.
Right.
Like, he became a thing.
Yeah. I feel like I want that guy.
So he's on here, and I feel like there are sequences of this, if not much of it, that was filmed in and around... is it Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Because that's where Romero
that's his heart.
Is his home base, right?
Yeah.
Well, also growing up in Pittsburgh and up and coming in the scene is a guy by the name of Greg Nicotero, who shows up on set as a nobody and is like, "Hey, can I help?" And they were like, "Okay,
yeah, sure.
Okay."
Maybe a couple bucks, maybe.
Right. So. He's not quite production assistant, but it's that kind of quality, right?
Just do whatever.
And he basically shows up and says, I will help.
Watching the Masters.
I will help. How can I help you? And Tom Savini takes him under his wing, and the rest is fucking history, right? Yeah. And it's all because of this movie, and I can't necessarily name the sequences.
Yeah, that he put his touches into or anything.
But I know that, I know that one of them is actually like just down the road from scenes in Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, I'm sure.
And Uh-oh. Revenge time. I mean, the moral of the story is just give the senior citizens their cake when they ask for it, right? Like,
All right. Don't bash them over the head with an ashtray.
no. They don't even make ashtrays anymore. If I wanted to go get an ashtray, where would I go?
For whatever reason, they decided that ashtray appears in every single segment.
Oh, really?
It's one little prop so that makes sense why this. If
Maybe this one leads.
Stamp this one to be the first one to kind of set that up, and it just kind of shows up in a shot here or there or whatnot. Maybe it's like a soap dish or something else like that.
All right, well, we're gonna look for it now. I didn't know that. That's a fun fact.
Yeah, little marble black soap dish ashtray deal.
I'm just curious. Like, when we were kids, we'd make goddamn ashtrays at school to give to our parents. Like, you went to Walmart, or it was Kmart. It wasn't Walmart.
Yeah,
it was Kmart.
Kmart.
You went to Kmart, and you could buy an ashtray.
Yeah.
You could buy an ashtray everywhere you went.
Yeah.
Where can you buy an ashtray in 2024? I don't think you can.
Especially not in this state.
Oh, love it. The practical effects here are pretty amazing. Like this character.
I like the expressionistic backgrounds they put on those moments. It just transitions that comic book style from one thing to the next, and
I love these little things, like the ads,
interstitials and everything.
Yeah.
Apparently they tried shooting this like practically, just like put the camera in front of the thing and just flip the thing, but it really couldn't make it work the way it wanted to. So they hired animators for it. That's
fair. I mean, there goes some budget, right?
I was watching the credits.
Holy old Jesus! Go. You were saying?
Yeah, when I was watching the end credits on this thing, there was a name that popped out. I had to double take it.
This guy cracks me up.
The name was Ron Friends. I had to take him in. I realized I have an autographed comic book from him.
Oh.
Because there was a Superman comic from the late 90s where they kind of did something radical with Superman and changed him into this like electric blue entity or something like that. It's weird. But he was there at the comic book shop on the day the thing got released, and he signed my copy. I still have it.
And he did what on this?
He was one of the artists for the comic book stuff.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, so I'm like, hey.
The amount of overacting is unbelievable.
Well, if you got a guy who's not an actor, make him ham it the fuck up.
Right,
man.
right.
Hide the lack of education on the acting end.
Department of Meteors.
And just make him fucking goofy as shit.
The Department of Meteors is such a great...
$50.
$50. The one, as I've always said, nobody can write a character like Stephen King, and
one can portray a character like Stephen King.
Well,
not like this man.
The way that he wrote this character, to say things like, I'll be dipped in shit if that, like, it's so specific to to Jordy Verrill, right? And no other character sounds and looks like this. Like,
oh, there it is already.
The little blisters, right?
I was wondering if you're going to do that.
I was, just out of curiosity. I was curious what the Department of Meteors was offering. He was offering $50, which is the equivalent of $163 today. So obviously,
slim pickings for some meteor shit.
Right, absolutely. So if you want Jordy's $200, that would be $650. That sounds more appropriate for a meteor of that caliber. You lunkhead. I don't know how one person can create thousands of characters that are so unique. And this poor idiot just thinks, well, I ruined my meteor. It done broke in half. Meteor shit is so perfect. It's fucking perfect.
Glued together.
I like that he started off with holy old Jesus, and which, you know, his typical go-to would be something New England like a holy crow, or Jeesley crow.
Christ on his throne.
Right. Oh, there's some. Is that Alpha? Sika? Oh, Sika. That's Sika. All right.
No, it was Alpha. I looked it up.
Oh, I thought that was Alpha,
Bob
but
Backlund versus Alpha.
Yeah.
Who just lost.
Oh my God, what a loss!
And when I was watching this, that's Vince doing commentary on the match.
Right, All American Wrestling.
Well,
Absolutely.
His father still owned the company.
I don't know. 82 is about the time that he sold it.
The match was from 1980.
Okay, all right.
So back to 80, he was James McMahon was still running it.
I love that he is a wrestling fan. I want to say the commentator, which in this case I guess would have been VKM, said Sika, but I thought that was Alpha. I had the opportunity to meet Alpha once.
Oh, that's nice.
And unbelievable. Just like, what a legend. This guy's a legend.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mean King, I mean Jordy Verrill. I had this, you know, he's a simpleton, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so all of his visions, or, you know, they all have the same doctor, or the same guy.
Yeah. So limited.
He only knows how to envision one authoritarian figure. You know what I mean?
Right.
And is this guy somebody I don't remember?
Not recognizable. Bingo O'Malley. That's a hell of a name.
Bingo O'Malley?
He's a Pennsylvania guy.
He looks like a Chinaman. He's a Chinaman named O'Malley?
I was going to say, there's a little Fu Manchu on that mustache.
And he's Bingo? Tell me that guy's not a pro wrestler. Bingo O'Malley.
He has a brother called Bart Jr.
That is clearly Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Apparently he showed up in My Bloody Valentine 3D, which we already did and had no clue. And we've forgotten very much of.
All I remember is that it's awful.
Yes.
I've seen it a grand total of twice, and I will probably never watch it again.
Okay, Two Evil Eyes is a Romero film, because this guy also shows up in that too. So.
Ugh.
Yeah, Romero's a lot like Carpenter at the time. It's like, just grab the same old people.
Get a troupe.
Just call them up. We're making another film. Come on down. Got a hotel for you in Pittsburgh.
It's, again, this surrealistic green.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like...
the coloring of it specifically, so it's really poppy.
Right. And there are certain things that look like they've just been spray painted green.
Yeah, probably.
And then this is clearly makeup effects.
I think there's a couple of matte paintings as well as we go on.
This is the one that I know was a short story of his.
Called Weeds.
And not to be confused with the hit television show Weeds.
Yeah.
But what an interesting progression of events here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this one, that almost looked like just a green light shown over everything.
Sure, yeah.
For the sake of
effect.
Yeah.
Okay, at least from the Wikipedia, it does say that this was the only one based on a previous short story. So yes, but still, King wrote the whole thing.
Right.
He wrote it all. So.
But he is kind of famous for inserting himself as in a cameo
not
role.
muscling himself into it.
No.
Ingratiating himself.
Right.
Like, oh, well, let's throw him in here at a point or
Look
two.
at that ketchup bottle. I love it.
I love this bit.
I never understood the pitcher of orange juice. You stir it up with the bottle. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a brother up a screwdriver.
Like this was a thing for our entire childhood, which is this era. The whole idea of the pitcher is confusing to me. Why do we dirty a dish? Why do we take the
jug,
whatever the vessel that the juice comes in, and we empty it out of that into a middleman container?
Unless you're making fresh squeeze, it doesn't make much of a sense.
Exactly. And then we use the middleman container to serve the guests.
Right.
When you could just use the original container.
Yeah, the only stuff we use the pitcher for is to make the Kool-Aid. Which the powder and the water and everything.
Right,
so
it requires equal parts. It requires a mixing vessel.
Yes. But something that's already, you buy at the store in a container and then put it into a different container.
Just to serve it.
Just, I don't know.
And I've never understood why that was a thing.
Peculiar, very much so.
Nope, not a dream. You have literally weeds growing out of your sofa.
Swamp Thing. I think what Scriven's making about this time.
I love that
I love his wailing.
Yes.
Oh, it gets worse.
Because much like Jordy Verrill, I would have no idea what to do in this situation.
Oh no, fuck no.
I like that they just covered his chest hair with moss. Oh, not there.
And same actor again.
Bingo?
They just took the fucking goatee off him.
Good old Bingo. Bingo O'Malley.
Bingo O'Malley. Seriously, I gotta know. Is that the real name or what? I gotta figure this out. Edward J. Bingo O'Malley. Okay.
All right.
You just have to make sure.
What's the first name?
Edward.
Edward.
J. So just... You didn't get born and just slap them, hey, you're Bingo now.
I was very curious what kind of
Mr.
and Mrs. O'Malley were thinking when they named their son Bingo.
You gotta double check sometimes. You never know. The kid's born in the 60s might have some really hippy-dippy name that he's stuck with for life.
Well, that guy was clearly born earlier than that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. There's some eras, some regions where you get stuck with something peculiar.
I like the way that he said, I'm a goner, ain't I? Like he's already kind of accepted his fate. This meteor shit is really not good. How much fun would it have been to decorate this?
To decorate, yeah.
And the escalating greenery
from
scene to scene is fantastic. not a huge fan of the Father's Day short.
Okay.
It's fine.
It's fine.
This is really a dark story.
Yeah.
How do you operate a gun?
He's such a fuck up in life that he's just praying to God that he can at least do this one thing right and blow his head off. Sad as that. There's a matte painting.
Yeah, okay.
And Castle Rock.
Sure, Castle Rock. And it's spreading. Dun dun dun. You can purchase a voodoo doll. You can purchase weird novelties. I love this. Exploding cigarettes, the buzzer.
Here's the one.
Something to tide you over. Here's the one. This is the one.
This is my favorite.
This is your favorite. Okay.
I like this
well,
one. Well,
I feel like in the last, when we get to the end, we'll rank it. We'll rank it. Around. Yeah. We'll go around between us two.
This is the one I remember so well. I think it's mainly because of the star performance in this one. And I like the fact you move from the Jordy Verrill one into this thing, and there's all the greenery and the thing. It gets you a little on edge, doesn't it?
A little bit, right?
It's just a little.
It's a hint of
a little twingy.
Now, at this point, now I am not a Leslie Nielsen fan.
Okay, not the comedy, you mean?
Right. The comedy, no. Now, because of that, I admittedly have not gone back to see his dramatic works, and I know that he was a pretty dramatic actor for quite a while. And he's pretty. Is his chest hair gray already in 1982? Is that a real thing, or am I imagining that?
Kind of looks that way. Maybe it's. I don't know.
Now, I mean,
people claim by the end of Cheers he was wearing a piece.
Oh, really?
People claim that. I don't know if that's for certain.
Well, I wasn't ever a Cheers guy.
People were just like, I want to knock this guy down a couple of I'm sure he's wearing a piece. That hair is too perfect. He can't be going with that forever. Because he did later guest star on Curb Your Enthusiasm, playing himself, but in a caricature. Okay. And, he's got the white hair. Yeah, he's got the white hair now.
I believe that's his actual hair.
Like CSI stint afterwards and everything.
I mean, I've got a lot of gray hair in my early 40s. I don't think that he's in his 40s yet here.
I doubt it. No, not a chance.
I think he's got to be
early 30s, maybe.
Yeah, like very early 30s, but he's already gray. Yeah. I mean, his chest hair looks like Nielsen's head hair. Yeah. Like I was thinking, like Leslie Nielsen, he had a couple. He showed up on Night Gallery for Rod Serling, which was much more of his horror anthology series versus the sci-fi with Twilight Zone. And Question of Fear was the one I saw, and he was very good in it. He was very good in it. So it's very interesting. Like people kind of credit Airplane as the term, but he's playing the straight man in Airplane. He's not playing comedy. It's not until Police Squad, Naked Gun that it kind of pivots the other way. And it's too much. And he does almost probably barely any dramatic work after that. And let's not forget his wonderful performance at SummerSlam '94. Oh, jeez, Christ. In George Kennedy. The very first ever event at United Center. The brand new United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Night number one. The doors are open, and it's SummerSlam '94. And WWF never returned to the building ever again. Well, it was in a weird period where they were fighting with the Rosemont Horizon. Okay. They'd had a contract with the Rosemont Horizon for forever. And you couldn't run, like, if a competitor came into town, WCW, they just didn't have a shot at it. The building managers, they all, it's like a union. All right. And for whatever reason, there was some sort of falling out, and they opted to go with running the United Center on its very first show. So, because they were running the United Center, WCW was able to swoop in and book the Horizon for Spring Stampede of that year, which was Flair Steamboat. And so that was going on. Great show.
Which is once you get to the Nitro era, it completely inverts in that regard, because WWF's back with Rosemont, and then every time Nitro comes into town, it's always the United Center,
which is the bigger venue for those that are not familiar.
Yeah, much bigger. It's Blackhawks Bulls territory.
Correct. Whereas the Rosemont Horizon, which is currently the All-State Arena, if anyone's interested in looking it up, but it's the same building. It's been renovated. The Horizon, which is where, all of us saw our childhood concerts, that was home of WrestleMania 13. Yeah. And 21. And 2. Part of
2. So, yeah. So we're personally waiting on this new Bears Stadium. Hopefully it's a dome and we can get a WrestleMania back in the city.
Yes, because they will never
do anything but stadiums now.
Right, and they're not going to Soldier because it's outdoor.
At the end of fucking March. That's fucking unpredictable what the weather's going to do, especially off the lake. But back to the movie.
Right.
What?
Enough WWE talk.
Yeah. But yeah, to go through this thing, I just love Nielsen's performance in this. He's so on the point. And you believe it.
And
you believe the threat he's got. And he's got that swagger, that smile, all that stuff. He's relishing it.
And it's because Ted Danson is with his wife?
Yeah. Okay. Screwing around with Nielsen's wife.
I can't get over this gray chest hair he's got hanging out. It's unbelievable. You're going to give me an age on him?
Yeah, I'm getting here. He was born in 47.
Okay, so he was 35?
Yeah, at least. And Cheers, he probably hadn't even shot Cheers by the time they shot this, if they were previewing it in the spring.
Right, because it was probably filmed in 81.
Yeah.
So he's 34 years old here. This is a really great performance out of Nielsen.
Oh yeah, he's wonderful. This premiered in theaters less than a month and a half after Cheers debuted, which was not a big ratings grab at the time. It took roughly about 2 seasons before it really caught on, so NBC really gave it a lot of faith to find an audience, which today...
Well, it did.
Today, right now, you get shot in the foot after like a couple episodes.
Right, yeah, you don't make it out of your mid-season. Right, yeah. If they think they're not even sure, they'll debut you, in February.
Yeah, sweeps.
Right, the February sweeps. And you get, a 6 or 8 run.
Yeah.
And then if you do okay, then they renew you for the fall. And this has happened so many times.
Yeah.
That sand looks good. I don't know what beach they shot this at, but it's good looking sand. And I know that sounds silly, but some beaches have shit sand.
Freaking Pennsylvania, for fuck's sake.
Well, I'm sure there aren't any.
I probably went like New Jersey or something on this, I'd bet.
That crab, it looks delicious.
New Jersey, they shot it. Island Beach State Park. That was about it, right? Yeah, he's so goddamn good on this. He makes this so much.
I don't know how they got the crab to act so good, because it was really great. This is one of those, and I think maybe at least up until, before the end, this is one of those that is more realistic, right? So this is the "it could happen to me" scenario. I've always also been struck by this one.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right on top of it, man. He's so good. That's Gaylen Ross from Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, okay.
Apparently it was after this film being stuck, buried up to her neck and getting water rushed. I was like, maybe I want to be behind the camera now.
She's like, I'm done with this shit.
This is her last acting role. She only ever did 3 films.
Are they all Romero's?
The other one was... She didn't even use her real name on the other one. But she apparently... I can't remember the name of it. It was like 81 or something like that. Mad Men. It was called Mad Men, I think. But apparently she talks well about it. I don't know why she used a pseudonym on the film. But after 4 years, she just moved out of screen acting and decided to go behind the camera. Start directing.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's like a midlife change, like a Clint Eastwood.
Sure, yeah.
Not that he didn't do stuff before, but, I think of Clint Eastwood's directing career really starting in the 90s, even though I know that he did.
Oh, yeah, he was shooting stuff from the, Play Misty for Me or something like that, maybe the first one.
Yeah. I mean, he had done stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it almost feels like...
When he started really getting the attention and the awards and everything like that, really the prestige end of the career.
It's like he went from being listed as an actor to listed as a director, in my mind.
Yeah.
Even though he acted still.
Yeah.
And I've never been the biggest Ted Danson fan either.
No, I never sought him out in anything else he did after Cheers. I mean, like you, I was never a big Cheers guy. And even then, I preferred the later seasons than the early. Oddly enough, I like the Kirstie Alley stuff better.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's just because that's what I grew up watching first run.
Right, yeah, like you and I probably on the same trajectory where we didn't actually start watching live episodes until...
Maybe 88, 89, 90.
Right, somewhere in there.
I will say Cheers, I thought it had one of the best series finales. It did a really nice job.
Well, and it's the #1 TV theme song, in my opinion, of all time.
Yeah. I have it on CD.
I
have both versions.
I don't think...
The full length and the
shortened?
Yeah.
I'm curious to know how they filmed this. Clearly, he's safe in a box or something under. I don't know if they shot it, the close-ups as a
like an elevated sort of thing.
Something. But that's obviously the real ocean.
Yeah. Reverse shot.
Right, that looked like a fake head.
Yeah, I almost doubt it was Danson actually on the reverse angle.
Right. It's pretty advanced CCTV for back then.
Oh, yeah. Nice score on this thing, too.
And you're right, that transition into the greenery is just a little unease.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a hell of it. How much did this cost?
Nice estate.
The fish tank is top drawer.
Oh, yeah.
like, you'd almost believe this is Leslie Nielsen, the actor's home, because it's so advanced, right?
Nice cozy joint. It's got levels.
Well, you gotta have levels.
You gotta have levels.
Levels. That's the key. Pillows and...
He's getting like a gray on his fucking temple on by the sideburn. Yeesh.
I mean, I know I've got gray hair.
Yeah.
But I'm 10 years older than...
Yeah,
we are 10 years older than he was at this point.
I got some of my facial hair, too. It comes up in weird places sometimes. He's just so good.
I never was a fan of those lampshades that look like the accordion style fan.
No, the old hard to dust. It gets so cruddy. You gotta break out the vacuum hose.
Right.
It's not the way you want to go for it.
No, you don't need that shit.
Then put the plastic thing over it, then it's like, I don't know, it's tacky. It's no good.
That's a great shot.
It don't work.
And they're like rigid.
Yeah.
They're not good to the touch.
Yeah, no.
It's just a bad design all around.
Some things were best left behind. That's nice. And they got all these close-up shots. It's actually someone dumping water on them.
I'm sure.
How'd you like to be the person to keep abusing the fucking talent?
I absolutely would love that. Look at this shot.
Yeah, it's like how. At first you think like, okay, well it just kind of waving in. It's not going to submerge, and then you see that it's like, okay, well now you're fucked.
I'd be willing to bet that was an upside down shot, actually.
It might have been.
Because of the way the hair was.
Yeah.
I think that was an upside down shot.
Yeah. It's a nice TV. You don't want to lose it.
Nobody watches my TV. Nobody watches my TV. You can fuck my wife, but you can't watch my TV.
Yes, Al Pacino.
Because he's not there.
Yeah.
One of us wasn't there.
No.
No. He's not wearing a wedding ring, so maybe it wasn't his wife.
No, it was. Probably just divorced himself from it. As you would.
Sure you would. I love his eyes. He's got those electric blue eyes. I'd like to go to this beach and recreate this scene.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if it's a thing.
Your Sean Clark fella, he did a featurette on your disc here.
On this particular location?
Yes. I don't know on this location, but he did a Horror's Hollow Grounds on the complete film.
I'm going to have to rewatch that when I get my disc home. I love Horror's Hollow Grounds. And there's the ashtray.
Yeah.
And I love Sean Clark. I didn't see the ashtray in the Weeds one.
I did not pick it up, no. Look at that. Whole library.
Is the implication that he just kills people on closed circuit TV for a living? Like, I don't.
Potentially.
What? I'm curious what all of those videos are. I'm really mad that we missed the ashtray.
I like this little necklace deal he's got. It's very interesting.
It's unique.
It's almost like a crab or something. Like a lobster.
Or wings.
something.
But anyway, I've met Sean Clark before, and several times, and he is just a cool dude. And what a life. He says, you know what, my buddies and I are going to go do movie filming locations, and we're going to turn it into a show. And now he's grown into being a talent agent and represents all kinds of people, including Ozzy Osbourne.
Because when we were at a flashback weekend a few years ago, he was manning the table for Tom Atkins.
Right, yeah. He, I don't know if Atkins is one of his people, but yeah, he's absolutely in with a lot of people.
Yeah.
He may have actually been with Adrienne Barbeau when I was at the last convention.
And a bad spot to be in, man. She's a delightful talent. Now, I did read that there was a different ending they considered for this thing. They wrote and everything, which was much more of a practical ending. Whereas, like, one way or another, the cops get called over to his place, and one way or another, they see videotape evidence that he shows them the wrong videotape of certain things, and they condemn him, and he goes to trial, and he gets put in the chair and everything like that. And it's more of a practical justice is done type of thing.
Well, you know what?
Which could work. It might be more along your taste.
I actually think it is. And the only reason that I think I prefer that over this, not that this is bad, but this is extremely similar to the ending of the first one.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And it's like, oh, well, we've kind of done that already.
Yeah, done the zombie trick already. So it's a little... But in general, I do feel like this short has more traction for it than the Father's Day one for me, personally. It might just be because Nielsen's so good in it, and he propels the story. He's got momentum behind the story for what he's doing.
Yeah, I think
portraying it.
I'm not sure what I would come up with for the Father's Day, but it would be nice. Like I'd like to have a different ending for that.
A ghost instead of a zombie, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean that worked for either one of them, honestly. There's the ashtray again, so kept in the same spot. Interesting lamp there. Almost like Oriental design or something.
Yeah, he's got Oriental all over everything here. Yeah. Again, great makeups and costuming.
Yeah.
The seaweed is a little but I get what they're going for and it works.
Nice little Dutch angles that they throw in every so often here, just kind of throw a little more off kilter.
Well, even this is
this whole
tilted.
sequence is great there. So because most of the story's been so kind of grounded, you're just kind of slightly easing into it at this point in time.
And they're waterlogged.
Yeah,
that's good. I guess that the other ending of the video, it makes the videotape thing a better story.
Sure,
like it helps explain why he's got a library of doom.
Yeah. Incrimination.
Sure. And, having the final scene be him getting fried in the electric chair, I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good story.
I mean, this ending here makes it more of a horror story overall.
Correct.
The other one's much more of just like a thriller to a degree.
But there aren't really any other thrillers in the anthology.
That's the thing.
So, I guess it's either one that would stand out as being not like the others, as opposed to being praised for being not like the others. But this one's almost too similar. So
maybe something could use a tweak here and there, just try to differentiate a little bit more.
Green lighting again.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at those faces. Like,
yeah, so well done.
And he's
exceptional.
Yes.
Even this, like
the footprints coming out of the water.
Well, even just light. I don't know if it was they did it with lighting or a filter. It just looks so good. It's very evocative of the Dario Argento stuff because I mean, Romero was friends with Argento because Argento did the Italian release for Dawn of the Dead, and just like Argento used a lot of like colored lights to give off mood and stylized qualities.
Did Argento do Suspiria?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is very weird.
Expressionistic.
Yeah. The Crate. There's not as much in between story as
a little more of a breath between, you think?
Right, like something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I guess the idea that Atkins threw the thing in the trash makes it harder for him to be reading the comic book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know.
Because in the latter years, we're kind of used to like a horror host.
Right. What is that? What's the date on that?
Like 1834?
No, I saw that, but what? June what? What?
I don't know.
We gotta move that. I want to see that date. I'm sure we'll see it again.
Yeah. And of course, Hal Holbrook and Adrienne Barbeau, also from The Fog.
The great Hal Holbrook.
Who also, I don't think, shared any scenes.
Well, did she? I don't think she shared scenes with anybody other than her son.
Her son, yeah, and she was just on the phone with Cyphers all the time.
Right. Who recently died.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Barbeau's so good in this thing because, you know, she's the sweetest person. She's, I mean, you just watch Stevie Wayne and she just is such a bright personality. And now she's fucking detestable in this role so much.
Well, even the hairstyle makes it. You already dislike her, right?
Yeah. It's all the little things.
And Hal Holbrook is so delightful.
Huh.
You're right. Like, this is great acting.
Yeah. And she's married to Carpenter at this time.
Oh, okay.
79 to 84, I believe it was. I looked up.
Well, R.I.P. to that marriage, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
84, man, I don't know. Like, was he just... That was around the time of the Christine debacle.
Christine, Starman era, yeah.
Right, where he was probably just a miserable fuck because of his being screwed over.
Type of thing.
And being screwed over by the studio with... Was it Warner, right? That did...
Columbia did.
Oh, Columbia did the... No, I mean The Thing.
The Thing was Universal.
Universal, okay.
He didn't work with Warner Bros. At all.
Okay.
I think Starman was also... Yeah, Starman's also Columbia because they put that out on the Columbia Classics 4K collection recently.
Got it. So yeah, you know, he's got a bad taste in his mouth because of the studio.
Yeah. And who knows what else is going on. Maybe it's just, hey, things just weren't working out anymore. I don't think there's any animosity between them. I mean, they've talked in documentaries before about escaping New York and everything else, and I don't think there's any ill will. She's actually the mother of Cody Carpenter, who John has been doing all the music with and everything, the Halloween films and the Firestarter and all the new albums he's been doing.
Well, that's pretty... How great would it be to have your parents be John Carpenter and Adrienne Barbeau?
That's awesome.
Like,
yeah,
that's a hell of a combo for a parent group.
Yeah. Imagine if Carpenter did a convention. I don't think he does much fun. I think he does like panels or something like that, but he never does like a sit down, like I'm doing an autograph session or something. He'd be fucking around the block. He'd be Robert Englund.
Yeah, Carpenter would have to be ticketed.
Yeah.
Because...
The walk-ups would be endless.
Right.
Yeah, Robert Englund has... You buy the thing in advance, and you're in a line that's about 50 feet long.
Well, I don't even know if he does ticket advance anymore.
Or at least there's a dedicated line for Robert Englund.
Correct.
You're going to wait in a long old line.
Yes, and you wait a while, because I've done it.
It's worthwhile, because, man, he puts on a show.
He sure does. Okay, June 19th, 1834. I thought... because the line was covering the thing.
Yeah.
I thought it said June 10, 1984, which is my birthday.
Yeah.
So I got really
excited. Not quite
excited.
that far back, but in retroactively.
Right. The date.
Yes. And the lighting.
Right, the lighting to make you know that it's not real.
Yeah.
Blows barrel. I love that. You gotta blow the barrel, right? Cool it off just a little bit.
Yeah.
Golf clap. Yep. Good. And that smile.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
It's even impressive they got that good of a red lighting on it with the daylight and everything. They must have had to crank that up like hell. Just sad sack.
Yeah, I know. Like, what a miserable life this man leads. Getting bossed around by this lady. Just literally demeaning every little aspect of his life.
Yeah.
Nice little bordering.
Vignette.
Yeah. How did they, Arctic Expedition, how did they never know that this was in there? Well, whatever.
Who knows?
We're gonna...
And it's the weirdest thing. We didn't even mention it when we did our commentary for Jason Goes to Hell, but they put this crate into the Voorhees house basement.
This exact one?
Yeah, they cameoed this in Jason Goes to Hell, along with the Necronomicon and all the other crap that had nothing to fucking do with Friday the 13th, along with everything else in that film.
I don't know if I told you this, but I have a friend of mine who is our age.
Yeah.
And she did not grow up... She was a Nightmare kid, not a Friday kid.
Sure, yeah.
And so there were many of them that she'd never seen.
Sure, yeah.
And we went through the whole run.
Oh, Lord.
And I said we can stop.
We can stop
at 8, yes. And she said, we've come this far. You've told me they're bad. I'm ready. And I said, I swore I'd never watch these movies ever again. And guess what? I did.
And they're all coming out in 4K from Arrow Video now.
Well, the bad ones are. Jason Goes to Hell is still just as bad. It makes no sense. Even she understood the genre shift because it's like a completely different style of movie that introduces rules and lore and all this shit that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And I said, are you sure you want to do 10?
Oh, Lord.
And she, to this day, and this was a couple months ago,
all right.
She's still mad. Not at me. But I'm trying not to say I told you so, but she's so angry because it's so bad.
Yes. X,
yes. And then she agreed that the remake is great. So, and you picked up the arrow for that.
Yeah, that's a solid disc.
So, I didn't know that this made a cameo in Goes to Hell. I don't know why.
I have no clue. Maybe because Nicotero does the effects on Goes to Hell? I don't know.
And
it
was a Warner property.
Well, New Line. Warner didn't have anything to do with New Line at the time.
I thought Warner took over.
Not in '93.
Oh, I thought that was the whole...
New Line wasn't bought by Time Warner until like the end of the decade, and then they weren't merged into Warner Bros. Until like 2009 or something.
I thought for some reason that 9 was under the new regime, but...
That's just Robert Shea.
Okay.
At New Line.
All right.
Straight up.
Well, fuck him.
Well, that's distributed by New Line. It's all produced by Cunningham.
Okay. Well, my timeline was off. He is...
Yeah, just sick of this shit.
How much can one man take?
Fucking Jersey woman ripping up his life. She's just tacky enough. The jewelry.
She is not... There's the lighting again.
Yeah, nicely done.
She is not the type of person that will be told no.
Oh, yeah.
Or... And Horlicks University, that's a thing. What is that?
I had no clue.
That's something. I don't know if it's just, alright, hold on, I'm gonna look it up. It's a Stephen King thing, for sure.
Okay. Wondering what all these equations are on the fucking chalkboard.
Okay, so it is referenced in Christine.
Okay.
And it's also referenced in the novel From a Buick 8, which I recently listened to. I read it when it was new in like 01, 02.
Right.
And then I recently listened to the audio book because I wanted to read it again. But, something to listen to while I'm driving. Because I drive a lot for work.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know that sounds familiar. So it's a fictional college. I think this is the first time it was brought up.
Okay.
Was for this. Oh, and then there's a Carpenter on the box.
Julia Carpenter.
I don't know if that's anybody. And Holbrook, just to refresh my memory, Holbrook is a professor at this same university, yes?
I believe so, yeah.
And that's the link?
Yeah.
And here again, we have the red lighting for dramatic effect when it's...
amplified.
Right. So it is interesting that this one is the first one that's kind of a creature feature.
Yeah. It is the longest of all of them, but I feel like that, at least it justifies it as we go along. And apparently it was the interesting thing, because Savini's not really known for like creature design stuff.
Right.
So I know who we called up to consult on this one.
Oh, God, like a Rick Baker?
Rob Bottin.
Rob Bottin, sure. Okay.
Right, I mean, if they're shooting this 81, that's concurrent with Bottin doing The Thing.
Right, and he had done
The Howling.
I was going to say American Werewolf, but it was The Howling. I get him confused.
Baker did American
Baker
Werewolf.
did the other one, okay.
Baker started on The Howling, but then he left because he made a promise previously to Landis to kind of go off and do that dream project with him. But yeah, so he was apparently on the phone with Bottin for like an hour and a half just consulting about what to do, how to do it, and everything like that. And apparently they nicknamed a lot of these different creatures or the zombies and whatnot in the film. This one's called Fluffy.
Okay, I like that. That sounds like a Savini thing.
Uh-huh.
Fluffy. I'm always amazed that they can make people look like they're sweating and not have it look like they've just been sprayed with water. Like it looks real.
Yeah,
right?
usually it's a gel they put on them.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because the water would just evaporate too fast.
Right, right. The gel makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because he's glowing with sweat, and it looks so real.
Uh-huh. Tucked in with no belt.
Oh, God damn it. I don't know why that bothers me so much. It just looks so stupid. I realize that it's a thing and that people do it, but... Stairwell. Normally stairwells don't have doors on them, right?
Slap a sign on it.
Right, that's what I mean. Going back to our very first commentary, which was 8 years ago next month, for Nightmare on Elm Street, the original.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was like No Students Allowed or something like that. Or janitor closet, something. Where it was like just another door, and they slapped a sign on it, and then you go, "Oh, I believe you. This is." Final processing in Halloween 3. You're telling me that this thing walked the crate down the down the
sprang feet underneath it and just
right. Just
wobble its way down.
Wobbled down the hallway back into its little safe zone because it knows the geography of the building. I love this guy's, the professor's tie. Oh, I thought it was backwards. Never mind. I thought that the longer portion was the back.
Okay.
But it was the angle.
It's twisted up a little bit.
Yeah, he's half tucked in, but at least he's got a goddamn belt on.
I think his name is Fritz Weaver. I've seen him in a couple like character roles here and there, and he's a solid actor. He really puts it all in on this one.
He's got the giant, mag light and the wrench. And I think
it's gonna kill someone.
Wasn't the motorist
in the study?
In the study, wasn't the motorist the one with the flashlight, or was that the cop?
The cop.
The cop had the flashlight. Okay, all right. I thought the motorist with the flashlight got wrenched, and this was a precursor. But
no, lead pipe wasn't the flashlight.
Okay.
Cylindrical blunt force object.
Well, who'd I kill?
My butler. Look at them teeth.
Fluffy! Oh, Fluffy.
Where's the neckatoy of this thing?
Is that too niche? I don't know. It might be.
I don't know.
They
might sell.
They did make a Funko Pop of Jordy Verrill, and it's fuzzy green, and I didn't get it, and I want it.
Full felt on it.
Right, and I don't know where to get it because I think it's out
of print.
Yeah, Great makeup.
Nice work with the eye, too. I think the cinematographer, I think he worked regularly with Romero. Michael Gornick.
Gornick. Wasn't Crazy Ralph Gornick? Crazy Ralph was a
Gorney.
Gorney. All right. Never mind.
I remember. I clicked on his Wikipedia before. It's all in Italian.
Oh.
Can't read any of it.
That's unusual. You don't have like a translate button?
Not on Wikipedia itself. Or is that Spanish? I don't know. I think it's Italian.
I love that he just gobbles a fucking 4 fingers of whiskey there. I'd be dead. And he's gonna pour him another one. It takes that drink that he just poured right there, that little bit,
is enough.
Usually takes me 2 hours to drink that responsibly. And he just fucking guzzled it. Maybe not 2 hours, but I'm telling you, I sip it.
You nurse it.
I don't do that. He drank that shit like iced tea. I mean, look at the makeup over his eye.
Oh, yeah, he's all good. The subtle and the more extreme stuff comes off perfectly because, I mean, Savini's top of the game here.
Ooh, and the page wipe. The animated
page wipe stuff is good, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Because it's a location change,
I mean, again and again, it just keeps that idea of the comic book idea format in your head.
Hal Holbrook has the same amount of gray chest hair as Ted Danson.
And Holbrook probably 20 years his senior.
I mean, I guess it goes to show that Ted Danson really was, like his white hair, he's probably had it for a long time.
Yeah.
Because Ted Danson, and we didn't touch on this, went on to be the star of the show Becker as well.
Yeah.
Which, it is kind of unusual that people have multiple hit TV shows. And if I'm not mistaken, he was white-haired in Becker.
I don't know. I just remember it when he jumped on CSI.
I've literally watched,
crew cut deal.
In my lifetime, I've seen one episode of Becker. And I watched it in a hotel room because I travel for work a lot. And it was one of those where I was scrolling and it was the top of the hour and it was like Becker's coming on. And I said, you know what? I've never watched this show. I'm going to watch one. And it was okay. I mean, maybe you can't judge a show by one episode.
I know. Pulled up Google Images. He just had more of a just real short hairstyle.
Yeah, all right. He wasn't white. But he plays a heel character in that. He's like a bad guy. He's like a
more abrasive.
Yeah, abrasive. Yeah. Which I thought was kind of interesting. Amberson Hall. Amberson. That's another Stephen King thing. I've read so many books, and he's written, 10,000 characters. Who the hell is Amberson? All right, I'm going to look this up again. This is a very millennial thing that we do, right? Where we, even though we're not, we're cuspers. Yeah. And I identify as Gen X.
Well, I'm looking at more recent photos of Danson, and I mean some receding hairline, but no like bald spot or anything. So I'm guessing the whole thing of him having a toupee was probably just people accusing him of looking too good at the time or something. Holbrook passed away 3.5 years ago. He was almost 100. Born in 1925.
Whoa!
So at this point, in the 80s, he's in his 60s?
Yeah, he would have been late 50s. Yeah. So yeah, he was 25 years older than... Yeah. Mid to late 50s.
Yeah.
In 81, he would have been, 55, 56, somewhere there.
Something around there.
Time is weird. Like, people look so old back then. Fun fact, just the other day, we're recording this, it's October, it's time to watch, spooky movies.
Yeah.
So I know you're a fan of The Changeling.
Yes.
And heretofore, 3 days ago, I'd never seen it.
Okay.
And I watched it for the first time.
Okay.
Loved it, by the way.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Wonderful.
And your boy, George C. Scott, I think was 52 or 53 in that
Right
movie.
around that range, yeah.
Right? He looks 100 in that movie. And we were watching it, looking up people's ages, right? And we were like, 52. And then we said, Paul Rudd is 52.
Yeah, well, he's got the secret sauce, him and Tom Cruise.
Right. Like, well, Tom Cruise is 62.
Yes,
so,
yes, he is.
But, like, 52 now is so different than 52 then.
Yeah.
And that's what I was getting at. Val Holbrook actually looks like a respectable 55 years old here.
Yeah.
Oh, Amberson, by the way, I did look it up as a character in 11/22/63.
Okay.
Which has nothing to do with this in any way.
Not by the long shot.
But it was just a character's name, so I'm wondering... I wonder what came first, if he came up with the name of the hall, or that just maybe was something that existed and maybe he borrowed it for later on, put it in his pocket.
Possibly.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
They just took whatever name was on the building.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, maybe it was a coincidence.
Yeah. I like how this all ties the two stories into everything.
Well, right, he's using the one as bait, right? Like, he made it up.
Well, yeah, he's making all this whole, like, my buddy or whatnot, he got into this entire thing with this young student and everything like that, and now she's all cowering. I need you to kind of come down and help out and everything. And
can we just take a time out? Did she just pour some sort of dark liquor into her milk?
Yeah, that's gross.
Would that not curdle the milk?
No, that just sounds gross to me.
I mean, I don't know if I'd put whiskey in my milk, but...
The only thing you should be putting in your milk is some chocolate. That's about it.
Who makes a whiskey milk?
You know she's not drinking none of it after you pour the junk in there.
I don't know how many times I've watched this movie, but I've never really put cognitive effort into thinking about a whiskey milk. That's the worst.
Yeah, that can't be good at all.
That blood looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Good looking blood. Blood's hard,
They got
by
the
way.
color right. After the
Romero
the fluorescence and Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, he doesn't have a good track record with blood. Savini, though.
Yeah, he gets better and better.
Yeah. What a great plot, right?
And really good acting from Holbrook. He's got a little. Oh, it's just a thing of him.
She brought her whiskey milk with her.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Who brings a glass of milk in the car on a road trip?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, like Holbrook's doing a really fine job just the expressionistic acting.
Yeah, facial.
You can see that he's thinking about the entire situation and kind of contemplating things, and maybe a pause here or there that just kind of
contemplative.
Just trying to come to grips with it, and just trying to maybe morality strikes him, but it's like, I can't live with this anymore.
Well, could you?
No.
I mean, who marries somebody that drinks a whiskey milk?
Right.
I mean, that's red flag, my friend. She deserves what she gets. She's still carrying it around. That, hilarious. And there's a little
Yeah.
light sweat on him. So,
Yeah.
like, to
Between
me,
running around, cleaning everything up, and
Right.
maybe a little bit of the nerves, yeah.
but I mean, sweat is such a minute thing.
Yeah.
It's
And
got to
he's
be
playing it
so
with a little-
hard.
He's playing with a little twitch here and there.
That
He's really
yes,
goddamn good.
he is so good. Like, he can hardly contain his excitement, right?
Yeah, and he starts breaking down laughing.
Gets in a scrape. There again, there's dialogue. King is so good at this, where he'll take some turn of a phrase that isn't what you normally think of, and you know exactly what it means. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now he's like,
Now he's being aggressive.
oh yeah. They're just thinking back at every single moment she's demeaned him. It's like, fuck this shit. It's interesting. She's got a regular name, and then he calls her Wilma when he's not talking directly to her. But when he's talking directly to her, she's Billy. An interesting sort of
Yeah. Weird.
duplicity about the whole thing. When she's trying to sweet talk her more, he uses the nickname, but behind her back it's just the cold
Right.
version of the name.
Now, it's so weird. I've never really thought about this. So, I don't know where we got Bill out of William.
Oh yeah, all that stuff.
All of that. But it never even occurred to me that the female William, which would kind of, I guess, be Wilma, would turn
Which is a
into...
name you don't hear no more.
You really don't. And to have the same kind of female version
Sure.
of Bill turn into Billy, like, that's weird. But it works.
Yeah.
He's like begging for this creature.
Yeah. I like that they give it the pause here. Where he's just kind of almost live with this.
It's not going to happen. What have I done?
Yeah. Now I got to live with the consequence of it not happening and thinking he's a fucking psycho.
That's not punching. But I do love that she takes the time to just insult him.
Yeah. Furthermore, and just reinforces his decision.
You're a regular barnyard exhibit is such a
Jesus
great
Christ.
line. Oh my God. I need to write that one down because I need to put that into my regular rotation. Oh,
That's the worst.
Whoa,
There it
all
is.
right.
Oh,
Wow.
there it is.
There's the red light.
Wonderful.
He's so elated. Oh, good. Oh, it's so perfect.
That's nice.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
This one is significantly longer than the others.
It is, but at least they've got a strong story for it.
Yeah, and it's a good
And
payout.
really good actors carrying it.
Yeah, I'm glad that, like, the first one wasn't the longest one.
Yeah, that would have been the wrong foot to step on.
Usually, in an anthology or something, like in a book of short stories
Yeah.
or something, either the first one or the last one is the longest of
Okay.
them. It's weird that it's in the middle, but maybe not,
Kind of
because
sort of in the middle.
King's done many books of short stories, and they just kind of... It's sequenced well, so that there's shorts and then longs and then shorts and longs.
Yeah. Chain squishing.
The little hair, yeah.
Nice
Descriptors, yeah. I don't know if it was the chain that was squishing, but I get the point.
Yeah.
Be very careful not to wake it up. I like that there's like brains and hair and
Yeah.
oh, he didn't get to lock it.
Not yet. All right.
He's got a good 70s shirt on too. I like that. Because as we've all discussed, the 80s didn't really start till like 84.
Yeah, right.
Like it takes about 3 or 4 years into a
Yeah.
decade for it to have an identity.
Yeah. Have to wait for Thriller, Purple Rain, Miami Vice.
Well, Thriller
And
was
now
Thriller was this year, but
Yeah, well, Thriller set the stage.
Right.
That everyone started building on top of it.
right. Yeah, that was the watershed moment.
Yeah. I mean, I always think Thriller came out later than it did because of that sort of thing. Which shows it was so much ahead of its time.
It was so ahead.
Almost like perfectly produced pop albums that's ever existed.
Not my favorite of
No.
his, but
There's always wish Bad sounded just as good as Thriller. It's got great songs, but I feel like the production quality of Thriller is so much better.
yeah, Bad is like my album.
Oh yeah.
You know, people that are, I guess, true Gen Xers, because the cutoff, according to lore, is 1980,
Yeah.
which is our year.
Yeah.
So we're right on the cusp of being
Yeah, yeah.
millennials. But people that were born in the 70s,
Yeah, they're the true Gen Xers.
those folks prefer Thriller
Yeah.
to Bad.
Yeah.
Later that morning, I like that. That's good little.
In
Let's
Henry's study.
keep
Yeah.
keep the comic book theme alive, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people in the 80s had that coffee mug pattern, the brown with the cream.
A little bit.
He looks like hell.
Oh yeah, he's probably been up all night.
And Holbrook looks happier than he's
Oh,
ever
yeah.
been.
Sleep just fine.
And he's just gonna business as usual.
More content than he's been in years.
That's right. Is he wearing a New Balance shoe? He's got good hair, Holbrook.
Oh yeah.
He's got bad hair.
Well, he ain't got much of a choice in this thing. Got a nice flow going up there, yeah.
I think that might be a New Balance shoe. Uh-oh. It's alive. It did feel disjointedly long, though. And I get that it's good and it's, you know, it
Yeah,
didn't,
yeah, it's quality.
it wasn't long for no reason.
Right.
But it feels long.
Yeah. Makes you feel like you're maybe on the teetering point of maybe the film's wrapping up right after this one, or maybe you're not quite certain.
Right. Look at that beautiful Rockola. I think, I don't know what brand it is. God, here we have the great E.G. Marshall from Days Gone By. This is a different kind of creature feature. There's your soap dish.
There it is.
Now, normally I wouldn't like that exposition, but he's also going to prove to be crazy, so...
Oh, yeah.
It's a very futuristic setting.
Very clinical.
Yes. Which really, I think, makes the payoff work so well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if this was just a regular house, like Jordy Verrill's country house...
Something.
It wouldn't work.
Nielsen's place or something.
Right.
You
Even that...
You need to... Again, it's a little bit of a heightened reality in that regard. Going towards the other extreme.
Right.
It's so stark and clinical and sterile. And it suits what the character is, so they're just kind of amplifying what the character is and showing it. Because I guess there was the idea of it being like a regular, like, carpeted apartment type of thing, but with all the bugs, it just wasn't going to work with carpeting. To have them crawling all over the place.
No,
it would have been terrible to work with. Apparently they had to import all of them from Trinidad and dig them up out of, like, bat shit and all this other... It was fucking grotesque.
Oh, so they're working roaches.
Oh, they were working roaches. And they got in every fucking thing. Apparently there was, like, some sort of, like, big hole or whatnot that the things just get crawled into.
$3,200 a month.
Jesus, mother, today's dollars.
Well, let's find out, shall we? I gotta open it back up here.
Yeah, apparently there's like some big hauler piece of machinery that all of them got caught up in, and there's nothing you could do about it. What are you gonna do? Disassemble the whole thing and junk it?
That is a nightmare.
And they just probably breed like fucking crazy.
$3,200 a month.
Christ.
In 1980,
42 years later.
In 1982, is the equivalent of $10,400.
Jesus motherfucker!
So
how much you got to make a year to? I mean, that's over 120,000 a year, right?
Yeah, 10,000. Right. It's 130.
You probably have to make at least $500,000 a year to afford that shit.
An apartment in New York City would be that.
Yeah.
You know. Downtown Chicago, you know, in some of those apartment
high-end places. And
at the top, Lake Point Tower is a famous residence.
I knew
the Trump Building, which
definitely that one.
That one is a very upscale building.
I know a guy who used to have an apartment in the Edgewater neighborhood, right off the beach.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I don't know how much it was, but it was a lot of fucking money. He moved out of that a long time ago. He went to the suburbs.
I know.
You get a whole house for what you paid for that thing.
Yes. Recently, there was some availability at the Marina City, which are the corn cob towers,
yes.
which is
we shot in front of for a hot minute.
Yeah. So anyone that's not from Chicago, if you're those two cylindrical corn cob buildings. The apartments are pie wedge shaped, and super interesting, very expensive. Anyway, $10,500 a month is what in today's dollars is, American dollars is what we're looking at. And he's in New York City apparently, so there you go. That makes sense.
Yeah. And he owns the whole building.
Right. So I mean, everyone else's rent pays for his.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know why he's complaining. Great hairstyling on E.G. Marshall. E.G. Marshall was famously one of the jurors in 12 Angry Men, which is one of my favorite movies. I believe that came out in 1957. He was nominated for Best Picture. It did not win. I believe Bridge on the River Kwai won in 1957, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe this didn't come out. Maybe 12 Angry Men wasn't 50. I thought it was, though.
Yeah. No, speaking of George C. Scott, he was in a version of that. I don't know if that was that one specifically.
I think he might have been in the TV version.
Possibly.
That has Jack Lemmon in it. That or he did a broad...
Yeah, the later version, I think, was an HBO version.
That was in the 90s, yep.
I think it was... Let me check something real fast. Lee J. Cobb, who originally played Kinderman in the first Exorcist, was in that version, 12 Angry Men in 57.
Yeah.
And then Scott takes over the role of him and also is in 12 Angry Men.
And I wonder if he plays the same guy.
I don't know. So number 3 is what Cobb did.
Lee J. Cobb is the kind of the antagonist of 12 Angry Men. Okay. If anyone's not seen 12 Angry Men, And
the 97 version was directed by William Friedkin.
Yeah.
It's all interconnected back to The Exorcist. It's insane.
So, if anyone's not seen 12 Angry Men, it is... did he play number 3?
Number 3.
So he played the same role.
Role the other guy played twice.
Which totally makes sense, because that is the antagonist role. It's a one-room...
Look at this cast on this one.
On the 90s one?
Billy Peterson, Edward James Olmos, McKelty Williamson, Jack Lemmon, Gandolfini, Armin Mueller-Stahl, Ossie Davis, Courtney D. Vance. Hell, goddamn cast.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Which mirrors the 50s, right. Which was Henry Fonda.
Holy shit.
He's the...
Goddamn.
Anyway, so it's a cast of thousands. Everybody in it's a famous person. Jack Klugman's in it from Klugman. So it's a one-room...
Yeah, drama. Yeah, stage play.
Yes. It feels very Mammoth kind of situation.
Sure, huh?
And it's 12 jurors trying to decide the fate of...
One man.
And everyone's in agreement except for one guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's his chore to try to turn the other 11...
Yeah.
And the outspoken one and the angry one was Lee J. Cobb and later George C. Scott. And anyway, so this gentleman, E.G. Marshall, who was a big actor in the 50s, is one of the jurors in that movie.
Yeah.
And in this one, he is playing a crazy man.
Yes.
I think this or Hal Holbrook could have been considered for accolades and would have completely been overlooked because of the genre.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I don't like bugs, by the way. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. Spiders, I don't mind. I'm good with spiders. As we talked about, arachnophobia in the archives now.
Mm-hmm.
But this, the idea that there's a bug in my food, it makes me want to barf.
I looked it up. At least on IMDb, it was nominated for 2 Saturn Awards for Best Horror Film and Poster Art.
Okay.
So, solid enough. Could have gotten more. I don't know what the contenders were for that year. I'm not very versed in who won what for that body.
For what, like Saturn Awards and stuff? Yeah, I don't know any of that. Yeah,
I just know they've been around forever and ever, so they're worth a mention here and there. I like this
Yeah.
entire peephole thing. And
Yeah,
it just creates almost like a fisheye lens sort of expressionistic way of going about it.
What a life. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, there's one right there.
Nobody.
Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you make this short film and have bugs that cooperate?
You can't train them. Just got to kind of place them where you want them, and hopefully
they run
go where you want them to.
I assume it's supposed to be like a metaphor for his business acumen, but what the fuck is such a great... Anytime anybody says what the fuck, it's very impactful. Oh my god. Like this one,
Yeah, it gets on
this
your
one
skin
gets
real
me
fast.
so bad. Like, holy shit.
I don't want to be on set for this movie.
I mean, he needs an Oscar just for participating in this.
Yeah.
And then the lights go out, and then fuck me. This one's also, I mean, it's using the lighting and whatever, but it's different, right? Like, this feels like a completely different type of film.
Yeah.
I love that his glove was clean. I don't know, just that little thing, right?
It's getting me, man.
Oh, I know you.
I was getting there.
Literally, Nick is shivering over here.
Yeah. Like close-up shots, man.
And then the crawling on me. Like, I don't like him on me. Oh, fuck.
They're all up and everywhere.
Like, so you know that scene in Temple of Doom with the bugs? that was, I saw that in like 1986 or something, and it ruined me. It literally ruined my life. And then now, God, it's crawling on his neck. Fuck. That I can't. I'm just now I'm feeling it, right?
No.
They're varying sizes. Look at the giant ones.
The faster they crawl, the worse it gets.
Oh, and there's goddamn those big ones.
The big ones.
Look at this.
Holy hell.
Like, this is horror.
Yeah.
This is what horror is.
Yes.
I am horrified.
I just like that they made him such a fucking piece of garbage.
Yes,
He's terrible to everyone. He demeans everyone. He's worse than Barbeau in the last one because he's just a ruthless piece of garbage.
Is it too much to have those two characters? I mean, he's not belittling anyone to their face.
He's just a straight up
curmudgeon. Oh my god, look at this. I like the little...
Yeah.
Even the artwork was all
he's
bugs.
He's just this ruthless businessman who demeans and he insults people.
And, god damn it.
All around. It's like, he's not nice to anyone. At least Barbeau's character, like, she's socializing with other people and having a good time about it. But she just demeans her husband all the time. This guy's just blanket across the board in business and personal life. And just passive conversations. He's racist and everything like that. He's just the worst of the worst.
And then here's the aftermath, right?
Yeah.
There's no bugs.
Yeah.
Not a one.
And this is fucking horrific.
Look at that.
This is the master.
Oh my God. Oh
Jesus
my God.
Christ. Oh God damn it.
This is
it's worse than ever.
That's
holy Jesus fucking ass.
It's the worst.
Jumping Jesus Christmas shit.
That is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh.
Literally the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, just no, thank you.
See, I think that this kind of thing, they just needed another couple of seconds in betwixt.
A little more breath. I get you.
Yeah.
That's nice. How many takes it took you on that one?
Right, I don't know, but then these are somebody, right? One of them's Tom Savini.
Well, once the back is Savini. I don't know about the other dude. I can look it up fast. Good thing on Wikipedia they
break it out by section.
All the freaking stuff in sections, unlike the actual credits for the film. Marty Schiff. I'm not familiar with the name at all.
Marty Schiff.
It doesn't look familiar.
What is Savini wearing? That he's had that same mustache for 50 years.
Yeah.
No, around his waist. He's got like a
waist,
like a smock on.
Maybe a weight belt or something. I don't know.
No. It looks like
I haven't
like a loincloth.
Tarzan.
Generic cornflakes.
And it's interesting. Halloween 3 is in the theaters at the same time this is. This comes out a couple weeks after that. So you get double the Atkins.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong. So much Atkins.
One with stash, one without stash.
Well, that's it. Those are the only two options.
I feel like without the stash, you don't get the full Atkins. Full Atkins experience is fully with the mustache, right?
Right. There's the red.
And supposedly Atkins goes uncredited on the film. I don't know if that was one thing or another.
Yeah, maybe as a favor or something.
I don't know.
Now that you say that, that is absolutely Joe Hill.
Yeah.
I was in a Half Price Books.
Sure.
And they had some signed copies of a Joe Hill novel, so I picked one up at some point. So I have an autograph of his, of this little kid.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, these are in no order whatsoever.
Yeah, I would have liked them broken up by segment. It'd be easier to kind of sort it.
Why? Why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not even in order of the
appearance or alphabetical. They're just kind of
random.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
All right, what's your order?
The Nielsen one is my top.
Okay.
After that, maybe Jordy.
Okay.
Because it's kind of short and snappy in that regard.
Yep.
Then probably the Crate after that.
Okay.
Probably creeping up here than Father's Day at the bottom.
All right. I'm similar but not quite. I'm gonna go the Weeds one, the Jordy Verrill as my favorite, and the Sandy Ted Danson as my number 2.
Yeah, something that ties you over.
Right. And then I want to say the Cockroaches because it leaves such a it's so
an impression. Yeah.
So horrific.
Yeah.
I think the Crate story is better.
Yeah.
So.
There's my wrong friends, Vector Art.
Okay. I would be more if they were individually. I'd be more likely to put on the crate than I would the other ones. So I'm going to go with crate by a nose.
Yeah.
Then the roaches and Father's Day at the very bottom.
Yeah.
So we're very similar in that regard. I think our number 1s and 2s are just slightly flipped. And I don't know if it's just my love of Stephen King. I don't know.
Yeah.
If anyone is made it this far, please list your ranking in your comment. Just because comments help the channel.
Yes.
So any interaction is great. And also, we're just curious. We're not going to judge you if Father's Day is your favorite. Yeah. Great. Let's have a discussion.
Yeah.
I use that as kind of my litmus test. Is like if they were all on 5 separate discs, which one am I putting in to watch first?
Yeah.
And I think I'm picking the Stephen King just because I love him so much. Old Warner logo.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the first half of our George Romero love for this month.
Yes.
We'll be back with more.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Adios.
Bye-bye.